Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to math. Today we're going to continue working on polar equations, okay, or polar complex numbers. Today we're going to get familiar with different types, okay, or other forms, should I say, of graphing a point, okay, which our objective for today is to find all the polar coordinates to a polar equation, meaning we're familiar with one type already. One we've been seeing in the last few concepts, okay? The way we write this polar form or polar coordinate is r theta, okay? We've been familiar also with rectangular coordinates where we have x and y, okay? Where x is your real number, y is the imaginary number. Okay? R and theta, we usually see it with polar. X and y, we see it with rectangular coordinates. Okay? But lately we've been dealing with this. We've been setting it up as R. Let's just go over here. R cosine of theta plus I sine of theta. Okay? That's how we've been seeing it lately. There are three different other forms to graph this. Okay? Again, we're familiar with R theta as your coordinate. For example, if we say the radius is 2, okay? And theta is, let's say, 30 degrees. Okay? We will usually write it as R as 2. So 2 cosine of 30 plus I sine of 30. Okay? That's how we will write it in polar form. But if we wanted to kind of set it up as a graph, okay? Your R is your radius, okay? The reason why we're dealing with radius is because the unit circle is actually, as it's on the name, circle, okay? So if we were to graph 2, 30 degrees, we would do this. First things first. We have our 1s, our 2s, our 3s, our 4s. Our 1s, our 2s, our 3s, 4, 1, 4. Kind of run out of space here for the fourth one. But the way we were set it up is, since your radius is 2, everything on 1 is one circle. Okay? For example, see if I can do it here nicely. The blue represents 1, okay, 1 unit. The center is the origin, we have a 0, then we went all around, that's 1 unit. Then we go a second unit around, let's use red. Okay, red is our second unit. I'm going to do one more, just so you guys can see it. The brown is 3. That means that we're only going to go as far as 2, because remember, R is 2. So we're going to surpass the 1. We're going to go into the red, but we're going to go 30 degrees. Okay, so we're going to go about here. Okay, roughly about 30 degrees. Okay? That's 2, comma, 30 degrees. Obviously, we went a little more into the middle. It would have been 45 degrees, but since we're dealing with 30, that's how we will graph that point. Okay? 2, comma, 30. You probably can't really see it in there. Okay, but it's 2, comma, 30. Now, if we want to graph this in other ways, this point, what we need is our 3 other coordinates. Okay? Which we're familiar with the first one. Okay? Which is r, comma, theta. The other ones are r, negative theta, where you subtract, in order to make the negative, you will subtract 360 from whatever theta is originally in there. Okay? The original theta is 30, so we will say 2 stays the same because it's positive. But this time, to make it negative, we'll say 30 minus 360 is negative. Okay, bigger? 330. So negative 330 degrees. Okay? So now we want to see that 330, we're still on the 2. Okay? We will go the opposite from 0, because now we're in the negatives, and go down to 2. And do the 330. So this point is at 2, comma, negative 330. Okay? But wait. Now we're going to do it another way. Now we're going to have negative r and theta. Okay? Obviously, 2, the opposite of negative would be negative 2. And for the theta, we're still dealing with 30, okay? The only thing now is, in order to have our theta on the negative side, we cannot have 30 over here because it doesn't work, because there's no 30 over here on the negative side. So what we're going to do is, to the original theta, okay? The first one we subtracted to make it negative. We subtracted from 360. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add 180. Okay? So 30 plus 180. Okay? So 30 plus 180 is 210. So we go down to negative 2. And then 210 is about, I would say about here. So we have our opposite coordinate. Okay? Well, guess what? If this is the opposite coordinate, we're also going to have the opposite coordinate going the other way. Okay? So, for the fourth one, we have negative r and negative theta. Okay? Which is negative 2. Okay? Because the original is 2. So, negative r is negative 2. Comma, negative theta. Since we're dealing with negative theta, we're going to subtract 180. So we have 30 minus 180. Okay? We have negative 2, comma, 30 minus 180. We know our answer is negative. 30 from 180 is 150. Okay? So at negative 2, again, we're going to go to 2, not the first one. We're going to go to 2, and then we're going to go to 150. It's about here. So therefore, we have negative 2, negative 150. And then the bottom here, we have negative 2, and we said it was 280, 210. Alright? So there are 4 different ways. There is the original, which is r, comma, theta, okay, which you need to find, which I'm technically going to give you. All you really have to find is Give me the one for r, comma, negative theta, negative r, comma, theta, and negative r, comma, negative theta. Okay? You have to show me how it looks on the unit circle. Okay? Alright. So what I'm going to give you guys is, I'm going to give you guys, hopefully you guys can see over here, not really. Let me erase something here. I hope everybody has all the notes. Make sure you send them to me. Alright guys. So for the assignment, for number 1, we'll have 2, comma, 45 degrees. Okay. Number 2 is 1, comma, 90 degrees. And the last one is 3, comma, negative 60 degrees. Okay? Alright guys, make sure you send me your answers as soon as you're done watching the video. And I'll be here waiting for your email.